An anagram is where you have a word or phrase and you switch the letters up to make another word or phrase with those letters. And so we had a word or phrase that we began with that had meaning to us, but we didn't want to call the band by it for one reason or another. So we made an anagram. We switched up the letters and kind of happened upon Imagine Dragons. It was unique and strange, and we feel the word pretty strange, so it was fitting. And we've kept it a secret now for 4 years, what that original word or phrase is. But we let our fans guess, and it's been an interesting thing to hear the guesses. I guess there's hundreds of thousands of different things, combinations, if you put it into an anagram search on Google.
But before you die, you will make it known publicly.
Well, I don't know. I could die on my car trip, to the venue. I don't know.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yes. Shout it loud and proud.
Sorry, so how do you change the process of going audio to visual with your videos? Like, the videos with the Muppets is incredible, and so what is the process of translating your music into a visual?
Yeah, we're very hands-on with everything we do. All our visuals, we're pretty OCD about. So you'll see tonight that there's some visuals that will be going on outside of just the band that are all kind of hand-selected between us. I think all four of us have always been very visual audio people. So when we hear a song, some people say they see blues or yellows, or they see visuals in their mind. I think all four of us agree that we've always seen kind of visuals. So it was a really easy process, I think. I think each song we kind of sat down and we said, what is this visually, what does it bring to your mind? And then we tried to represent that in different small ways, not to take away from the live show, because that's what it's really about, but to kind of add to it.
All right, we've got time for a couple more. Yes. Yes, right there.
I know that lots of people here have very important questions to ask you about your band and why you do the stuff that you do. But I saw a commercial a couple months ago where a little girl asked a major NFL player what his favorite color was. So that's my question to all of you. What are your favorite colors?
Wayne? Blue. Mine is black, but not because of the dark, I really think black is a beautiful color. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I have a favorite pair of colors. It's Pepto-Bismol pink and Neopectate green.
I like turquoise.
Okay, in the back, blue, yes.
Sorry, I'm kind of short. But what inspired y'all to start singing and be involved in music?
It's probably different for all of us. I was thrown into music, whether I liked it or not, from a young age, just because my family is very into music. And my mom required me to take 10 years of piano lessons from 6 to 16. No ifs, ands, or buts. So that was, so I had to either learn to love it or hate it and do it every day. And I chose to love it. I didn't love the piano lessons, but I learned to love music. And so it was my passion. It was what made me happy. At the end of a long day at school or something, I always returned to music, as I'm sure many of you do. And it was, it meant a lot to me. It meant a great deal to me. I feel like music does a lot more than people have any idea, whether it's prevention for violence even, whether it's a song that you turn on and it changes your state of mind. I think music can do that better than a conversation with the wisest soul, just because of the melodies, of the way that the music makes you feel. It can change everything.
Yeah, I listened to I would sneak into my dad's study at night when I was, 8 or 9, and he had a really nice vinyl set up and a lot of different albums. So I just go listen to music on vinyl, and that was my introduction into music. The classic rock, which is something we all love, Boston, the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Iron Butterfly, everything. So that's how I got into music, and I've just kind of been chasing those sounds my whole life.
I was kind of an obnoxious child. I think that anything that could help me be louder and just create more noise was appealing to me. Probably where the general attraction to it first came from. than trying to figure out how to control that in some way where people wouldn't, hate me for it. That's where the discipline came from.
My earliest memory is playing piano with my father. I come from a musical family. No one had ever done it professionally, but there's a long line of like my grandfather played classical music with my dad, and then I grew up playing classical music with him. And then as I got older, my brother played bass. He needed a drummer, so I learned to play drums and just kind of picked up instruments as they came along. And music, my earliest memory is my passion for music, so I don't actually remember choosing it.
Last question. Be bold. Yes, we'll go with the
Mom.
mom.
What genre, or I don't know, how would you classify your music? I mean, you're not pop, you're not like strictly rock.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know if we know the answer to that. I think all of us have. I don't want to say we detest it, but none of us are very fond of titles for music, because music is such a broad thing, and we don't want to be pigeonholed to only create rock music. So incredibly different. It could be by two different bands, and that has always interested us. And when we were making our album, there were many people, I won't name names, like a manager, for instance, maybe. No, not the manager. He was actually pretty supportive. But there were a lot of people who said, you have a very diverse album that you're putting together. And it could be to a fault of the band, because people won't know how to wrap their heads around it. But it's actually, I feel like, has been one of our biggest assets, is that we just created very freely, with no specifics in mind. We were like, let's throw a mandolin on this song because it calls for a mandolin. Let's put a dubstep synth on this song because that's what it calls for. And I think we'll always create that way, and just because it's inspiring to us. Yeah, I don't know the answer. Whatever you want to call it is what it is.
Ask mine because it's a seg from there, and then you
You go.
finish with
You
the
go.
last question. Short answer. Now, I could have prepared you for this, but you said you didn't want to be prepared. You wanted it cold.
That's right.
Best band in history.
The Beatles. I mean, it's easy for me.
Well, I actually would go with Harry Nelson, who was a singer-songwriter. He had a band, but to me, he's the greatest.
Well, Sir Matt already said the correct answer. It's not an opinion thing. It's the Beatles are. Yeah. Okay.
Weird Al Yankovic's band is actually unbelievably amazing. If you haven't seen him live, you should check him out.
All right, mine is, are you the only married member of the band? And how does this work, you being married with a new child?
I'm not. Wayne is also married as well, and it's very difficult. I've been home for maybe a month of the last year. That would be very nice to say that. Yeah, that'd be generous actually. And it's difficult. It really is. I'm still figuring out how to make that work perfectly. But it's like anything in the world, anybody who has a passion or a career that can take you away from home a lot, you have to balance things out and weigh it out and find the right balance for you. And I haven't figured that out yet. But it is very tough.
I don't have a child. My wife comes out in the world with me a lot. She's here now. Yeah. She's ballet. She doesn't do music yet. So that helps a lot. It takes talent, ballet. I have some dance.